Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Shrads.
And my name's Rita, and this is
Almost there?
Question mark?
We are back and better than ever. We should have a theme song. I feel like I've said this before, but I don't know what that would be. We are back.
If you have any suggestions, if you would like to make our theme song, if you would like to call me,
Call
maybe.
me. Call us.
Do a little.
How would you answer if somebody told you answer the phone? How are you answering the phone? Like if somebody said mock answering the phone, what would that look like?
Like, am I a receptionist or something?
No, like right now I said answer the phone. What would that look like?
Hello?
No, like with your hands.
Oh!
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I know. I saw this video about like they compared the different generations and how they would answer the phone. And I think Gen Z the younger generation.
They answer like
what are they
this.
called?
Y.
Yeah. Oh,
X.
okay. One of the alphabets. Like they just answered like this.
Which I don't understand because when you answer the phone, you answer like this.
Yeah.
You don't answer like this.
But even this is not like a phone. We never
That's
answer
true.
phones.
But that's what the phone looked like, I guess. But you would
Yeah, but
answer
you
it like
never-
this.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
so
true
for them,
too.
it's like, I guess it's like the shape of it.
Of the phone, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing? The phone taking a photo.
Yeah.
We'd go
Crazy.
and they go no, I think they go like this.
Yeah.
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 What are our kids gonna, like our possible kids, what are they gonna have? I wonder if they just go wink
Huh?
to take a picture
Oh.
and then to call. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. And then to drive.
They'll probably be in space, like talking to
Yeah.
different life forms.
Truly.
That's such a lie. Because you remember when we were young?
And
they'd be
we'd
like,
have
we'd be
floating
like-
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Here we
Peasants
are.
still.
Peasants.
Just
You know
running
what?
the
We
same
say
cars.
peasants differently.
Why do you say peasant?
Because,
Peasant?
yeah, like peasants.
Peasant.
It's spelled the way you say it.
But do people say it
Peasants.
differently?
I think so.
Hmm.
The more you know. Somebody I know says, I can't remember the word, but it annoys me every time they say it because it's not right.
Oh.
We'll come back to that one. Anyways, today we're talking about friendships.
Yeah. Have you ever had a breakup with a friend?
I have, but I can't remember the last time it's happened. Like, it was like such a fucking long time ago. If you really think about it, like, that was 5 years ago. That's a long time ago.
I actually feel like it would have been longer. It feels like it was a while ago. Maybe it's because you're just a very different person now compared to who you were then. So for me, it just seems like you're worlds apart.
Yeah. Crazy. When's the last time you broke up with a friend?
I think it's been a long time. And I don't know that it was ever like a
Breakup.
Yeah. Like, I think we just have like, you just phase out of like friendship sometimes, you know, or like
Yeah.
life is just happening.
That happens often too.
Yeah. So I think it's more of that sort of stuff. Like, I don't know that I've ever had like a breakup.
which is healthy. That means you
Which,
didn't
no,
need
but maybe
one.
I've just like ghosted people, which is not a good, healthy way to do it.
But have you ghosted people, or have you just like have they reached out to you and then you didn't respond?
Probably.
What is that? I don't know. Oh, maybe that's her aunt. That's her.
Whose aunt? That sound was pretty scary.
insane.
Why am I holding the mic?
That sound was so scary.
Next on, this is the ghost thing.
Okay. The mystery of the phone sound. You look great.
Defeated.
You do. We're both defeated.
No, you look great.
Just breathe, breathe, just breathe. Do you think you get copyright for singing another tune but with the same different words?
Oh, what?
Same tune, different words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
All right. So
breathe. Take a breath in. You're not inhaling.
Oh, that's how I inhale.
Okay, inhale. Anyways, did you ever do that thing in class where you had to breathe, like in science class, you had a breathing thing?
No.
And you had to breathe and it goes all the way out? No.
The fuck? That's so cool.
It was pretty cool, but I don't remember what it was
Very
for.
sick.
I think it's like lung capacity, to check the capacity of your lungs.
Yeah.
Okay, friendships. Oh yeah, my question was like ghosting. Like, were you ghosting people? Like, would they text you and you just not reply, or was it that just both of you just stopped texting each other?
Probably both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not ghosting. That's
It
just
is.
like how. Because
No,
both of
'cause
you
if-
did it to each other.
No. I'm saying both scenarios, like where the texting has happened, and like, and I'm sure it's happened like with me texting someone, and then over time, like they have just not responded or something like that. Like I think that's just like, I don't remember, but it's probably happened.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like that's more of like what has happened rather than like a like
Full stop
fight,
cut.
and then we are not going to talk for a long time or something like that.
I wish we had more conversations that were like normal mutual conversations where people would just be like, hey, we've just grown out of each other and that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think that's a hard conversation to have when only one person feels like they've grown out of the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if the other person still feels like everything is normal and fine and dandy, then it's hard to be like, I have grown out of you.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say like oh, actually, yeah, like I had it in high school, like where there was an issue and then like, there was like a whole thing out of that. And I wish I handled it differently, but I was young, but I still think like I could have handled it in a much more mature.
But I will say it is easier to have issues and break up as friends than to just like to acknowledge that something's wrong and then break up. And I think
true.
That's what is the problem here. We didn't even put our pillows there today.
That's why it's been weird.
How did we miss that? Maybe it's just too nice. Like, it's so cute. We just didn't want it. But yeah, I think like just having a fight, it's easier to break up with your friend that way because then you both know you're mad at each other and like you have a reason to fight.
They
and
say
then
that
figure
for
it out.
relationships too, though.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, it's so much easier to do that than to just admit that you've just grown out of each other, which is why I think it takes people so long to get out of friendships or like relationships when it's just about you growing apart. Like you just don't value the same things anymore. You just have like very different, like even if it's like hobbies and stuff like that, you don't have to have the same hobbies or interests as your friends. But if you just feel like, I think the values is where it comes into play. Like if your values are just not aligned anymore, or what you want from life isn't aligned anymore, I think it's just a wrap on that one.
I think it's the biggest is the what you want in life, because it's like at the end of the day, like the values that you have as a friend, unless usually your values stay the same, right? Like most of the time it's like when you're like from whatever age, like 5 to whatever, not 5 is too young, when you're like fit like in your teens to when you're like in your 20s usually, right? If they do, then yes, that makes sense. Like your core values change, but usually you know what your friends are and how they feel. They usually just act differently or they want different things from life. And the older you get, you want to surround yourself with people who want the same things as you, not in the sense of like to be the same people, but just in the sense of like, I want to be more successful. So I want to be with somebody, or I want to be surrounded with people who are very ambitious and are doing whatever they can to like succeed and be better and grow, right? Whereas somebody who's just like, oh, I'm very content with where I am, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if they are super content with where they are, the conversations you're having are very different and not like you won't be able to relate on certain things, and that's okay. But do you think that it's easier to break off a relationship or a friendship?
I don't know. I think they both can be pretty hard. I think also because with a relationship, it also usually is that there is this friendship aspect to relationships too.
Yeah.
I think it's also the number of years you've known this person. I think that's what determines how difficult it is to get out of something. A friendship doesn't require as much attention as a relationship. So I would think that in a friendship, you just are not maybe that aware of maybe how you feel or how the other person feels, or if, like, maybe you've grown apart or not. Because in a relationship, like, you know, you're talking to this person essentially every day and like as much as you can or whatever, or not, but whatever. You still talk to them probably more than your friends, right? And so I think in a relationship, you would probably know faster. But I think either way, it depends on the years that you've known each other.
I agree. It's like situational, but I think generally it is harder to break up a friendship only because like it's not normal. There's no like with a relationship you can say we're breaking up. But you never have a conversation. You rarely have a conversation with a friendship and you're like, we are breaking up. Like there's no like closure. There's no like this is over. And if you do, then you're going to get looked at differently or whatever the case may be. I doubt that people just literally sit there and like, we're breaking up. This is it for us. And I doubt there's ever like a mutual, like happy, okay, we're not meant for each other. I'm sure there is. There are very mature people in the world and like emotionally mature people and intelligent people that I think do that. But in most cases, I doubt that conversation happens. So I feel like most people would just torture themselves with the situation just to be people pleasers. Whereas like in a relationship, it's a lot more acceptable to say this is it and that's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you're right. Like it totally depends on the situation as well. There might be like relationships that are like fucking abusive. You're not leaving that. You know, like I mean, you know what I mean. Like you should, but it's very hard to leave those relationships.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a very interesting.
I did like recently listen to, I don't know where I listened to this, but this guy was just saying that he has different friends for different things in his life. So there are people that he will go to when he feels like he needs motivation. There are people that he will go to when he needs like someone who's empathetic, someone who'll understand where he's coming from. He just knows who to go to and for what, right? And so it's very important to also know that like just like how a relationship can't be everything for you, it's also like your friends too. The expectations that you have off your friends need to not be so high, you know,
and
like
the same for everybody.
yeah, because not everyone can give you what you need. And also if they're not giving you anything, and if you're the only one giving or whatever the case is, if you feel that that person is not bringing some sort of a value in your life, then do you really need to have this person?
That's true. So I saw something that I thought was interesting. It was people having this discussion about how there's like apparently a study or something saying that men have just very healthy relationships and they have longer relationships just because of how like the structure of their relationships are compared to women. And women, it's just a little more like catty maybe, or just like they don't have a lot of friends or whatever the case may be. And this girl brought up a good point, which I thought was so interesting. She was like, I kind of disagree that their relationships are healthier. Yes, they last very long. And yes, they are like legitimate relationships. And I'm sure they love each other. But she said this, when I have male friends and we have conversations that are deeper than just like surface level, it feels like they like emotionally dump everything on me because they have not had an outlet up until this point to do that. And then when it comes to my turn to have that conversation, like it's never reciprocated in the sense of like, oh, how are you feeling? It's more so like, oh my God, this is my time to just like let it all go. And then once they do, they just light and happy and they're gone, right? And she's like, they might be healthy and yes, they might be longer. They might have many friends, but they're also not emotionally intelligent enough to like have very good conversations. That's not everybody. But if you don't have that outlet, like it is it really that healthy? You know what I mean? Like, cause they just don't have the quotient or the whatever they've just been taught differently how their friendships are. But I will say it is easier for a man to have like guys to become friends, I think, than it is for girls to become friends.
Yeah, I guess it's just like how deep that friendship is.
Exactly.
It varies.
Yeah. But it's so interesting to think about and talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, our main thing was about friendship breakups and how like it's okay to break up with your friends and it's okay to like grow from each other and like grow differently from each other, and it's okay to want different environments. And it's okay to just, I think as a whole, we all need to get used to just being like, hey, I don't really want to do this
Also,
anymore.
Maybe you don't even need to have a conversation. Like, let's say you just find out, oh, this person doesn't really want to talk that much. You give them
The space. Yeah.
And you, like, you know, if I know, I understand, like, if you're very close and you're like trying to preserve this friendship and stuff like that. But if the other person doesn't seem like they're giving you the actions that you need in a friendship, then maybe you need to also like just
Evaluate.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know. I do think like female friendships sometimes expect a lot more from each other than men friendships.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
that
does.
makes sense.
Yes, I do. I do too.
I do too. No, I agree.
Yeah. It's a different dynamic, I think. Also, to be able to do that, there are some people in families that you may need to cut off.
Yeah, facts. And
Which
that's
is-
okay too.
Which is hard as well, but you know.
What's your recommendation to cut it off? Like, what would you do? First of all, we would probably just. No, I'm lying. Because I didn't do it. You didn't do it. We both phased people out if they needed to be or whatever the case may be. But yeah, like what would you recommend somebody, like a healthy conversation? Like what would you recommend they say?
Oh, a healthy
A
conversation.
healthy conversation.
I'd be a hypocrite in saying it because it's not like I have had that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know that,
You would.
yeah. Unless it's like really like a very, very close friend who I've been friends with. Like if it's one of my like high school friends or something like that. And it has to even be like a very close one, I'll try to preserve it.
Yeah.
Like, but at some point, actually this happened recently, right? Do you remember?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So like, you know, I just felt that I wasn't getting what I needed in that friendship, I guess. And so, you know, eventually I tried to say like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, should we should like hang out more and like, is there anything wrong and stuff like that? Didn't go anywhere. And then eventually it was just like, okay, well, clearly like I feel like this person doesn't want to continue this friendship, and it sucked, but it also is just what it is. Like
It's life. Yeah.
yeah. And it's also like, I think when I really reevaluated and I took that time to see like, okay, what value is this person bringing to my life, it really wasn't too much, you know. It was, yeah, of course, like we've laughed, we've had good times, we still continue to do so, like
Yeah.
we don't, it's not like we're not friends anymore, but it's just now I don't have those expectations and it just makes it so much easier for me.
For sure.
So I think it's just sometimes you have to just like sit back and like actually take in what's going on, and that's why I said with friendships I think it takes longer
For sure.
to
100%.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a good point to bring up. It's just like state at least what you need. If you're like on the receiving end of like you feel like you're not getting enough, state what you need. Like, this is what I need. This is what I expected. And then if nothing changes and you're not happy with how the progression is, then you need to understand is like you said, just reevaluate yourself and just be like, do I need this in my life? And it's okay if you do, it's okay if you don't. But either way, like you need to understand and like take, what's the word? Stock, yeah. But inventory.
Yeah.
You got to take inventory of your life and just what is important and what is not. Another cop-out way of doing it, which I think is easy, and just like if you are somebody who, I think this is the way I would do it if something like this would have happened to me or would happen to me coming up, like I would not be able to confront somebody and be like, I don't think that we can, like I wouldn't be able to do all that stuff. Like I think what I would do in that situation is literally just be like, hey, like I personally don't have the capacity or the energy to work on this right now, and you deserve better. Like you deserve more of my time. We like our friendship deserves more of our time, and I don't want this to keep dragging where like you feel like you're left behind, or I feel guilty for leaving you behind. So I think we just need our space, and that's completely okay. And maybe at some point we'll rekindle our friendship and that will be great, but at this time, like I just don't mentally have the capacity to do it. Would I say it like that? Probably not, because that sounds so easy and cut, like just perfectly straight out. But when the person's sitting right in front of you and you're like having that conversation, they're like, no, but our friendship, it's hard, but I think just blaming on yourself will be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But you know it's not all your fault.
Hmm?
I said, but you know it's not all your fault. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's just when people say like have a mature conversation, like say what like ideally, yes.
That would be
How
perfect.
amazing would it be that like everything that you just said right now,
Yeah.
like you could say it just like
Word.
that to
But
them.
that my way is also still a cop out. That's also just me being like, it's my fault when it's not. It's nobody's fault. It's just
Yeah.
you guys need to be able to sit down and be like, it's so like it would be in a perfect world. You say, hey, we're not like compatible anymore. We're just not at the same like friendship level that we were before, and that's okay. Goodbye. But then, sorry, continue your thought. You were saying like how perfect would it be if we were to be able to do that?
Yeah, it'd be sick. Like imagine like how you prepare when you're taking a shower.
Yeah, like your
Like,
argument.
like yo, as soon as she says this, I'm gonna say that, and then as soon as and then when the actually happens, you're like, like nothing comes out, and then later, then you're like, oh, I should have said this when I shouldn't, like all that stuff. But it's just whatever, man. We have one life. Like you fuck up, you fuck up. They fuck up, they fuck up. Like it just
It is what it is.
yeah.
You also you text it. Some people will think that's like horrible, like texting or whatever. But
Yeah.
like maybe have a follow-up conversation, or maybe even call them and be like, I just don't think I can relay my thoughts properly like on the phone, and I don't think I'll be able to do it in like a way that's fair to myself or you. So can we text about this? Or can I send you like, at least for the first one, can I just send you all my thoughts and like relay it and preface it? But again, it's hard. But
Yeah.
just give it a gander.
Let's try it out.
Try it out. Let us know how it works out.
Yeah.
Only if you need to break up with a friendship. Don't like just do it for fun.
That'd be wild.
Imagine.
Let's try it out. I'm bored today. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Like, follow, comment, subscribe. Yeah. On Instagram, we're at
ALMST there.
and we're on Spotify, all your favorite podcasting platforms like Apple and everything, and our full forms are on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in another video.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.